Welcome back to CloudNimbus. I'm Rohan Singh, and this is part 2 of our complete AWS certification guide, and it's the one you've been waiting for. In part 1, we mapped all 12 certifications. Today, we turn that map into your personal route. Whether you're a developer, a QA engineer, an ops admin, or starting fresh, by the end of this video, you'll know exactly which certifications to take, in which order, with realistic timelines for each step. We'll walk 6 tracks: cloud developer, the QA transition, DevOps, AI and machine learning, MLOps, the hybrid everyone's hiring for, and data engineering, plus the 2 growth certs for later in your career. Quick reminder, everything here reflects the July 2026 certification lineup, and every path pairs perfectly with my practice courses linked below. Let's find your road. Before the tracks, 3 rules that make or break this journey. Rule 1. Certifications follow the role, not the other way around. Decide the job title you want 12 months from now. The right exam sequence falls out of that automatically. Rule 2. Each step unlocks the next. The levels exist for a reason. Associate exams assume foundational vocabulary. Professional exams assume associate fluency. Skipping ahead usually costs more time than it saves, because you end up relearning basics mid-preparation. Rule 3. The one nobody follows and everyone should. 1 cert, 1 project. Every time you pass an exam, immediately build 1 small portfolio project using those exact services. A certification gets you the interview, the project wins it. And here's how to read the maps coming up. Solid boxes are exams you take in arrow order with typical study weeks underneath. Dashed boxes are optional, skippable if you already have that experience. Here are all 6 tracks on one screen. Find the one that sounds like your story. Cloud developer. You're a dev. You love building. You want cloud-native superpowers. QA to cloud. You test software today and want an engineering seat at the cloud table. This is the most underrated transition in tech. DevOps Engineer. You want to own pipelines, infrastructure, and reliability. AI and ML Engineer. The 2026 gold rush. From AI fundamentals to production machine learning. MLOps. The hybrid. Machine learning models shipped and operated like real software. Companies are desperate for this profile. And data engineer, pipelines, lakes, and warehouses, the quiet, steady demand track. I'll walk each one now with exact exams, timelines, and the portfolio project to build. Timestamps are in the description if you want to jump straight to yours. Track 1. The working developer. Start with developer associate, not cloud practitioner. If you write code for a living, DVA certifies what you already half know. Lambda, API gateway, DynamoDB, SAA/CD, debugging. 6 to 8 weeks at 8 to 10 hours a week, and it's the fastest first win available to you. Then, and this is the move most developers skip, add solutions architect associate. Why both? Because DVA proves you can build, and SAA proves you can design. That combination is precisely what senior engineer interviews screen for. The developer who understands cost, resilience, and trade-offs. Down the road, at around 2 years of AWS experience, DevOps professional turns you into the engineer who owns the whole delivery machine. Your portfolio project after DVA. Ship something real and serverless, a URL shortener, an expense tracker API, Lambda, DynamoDB, and a proper pipeline. Small, finished, and deployed beats ambitious and abandoned every time. Track 2, and if you're in QA, this one is for you, because I think it's the most underrated transition in tech. Here's the secret. QA engineers already think in edge cases, automation, and pipelines. That's more than half of cloud engineering culture. You're not starting over. You're replatforming skills you have. The path: cloud practitioner first, 2 to 4 weeks to nail the vocabulary, regions, IAM, shared responsibility. Then developer associate. And here's why it beats any other choice for QA. It's the exam about SDKs, APIs, and SAA/CD, which is exactly where modern test automation lives. Third step, Cloud Ops Engineer Associate, the renamed SysOps, because keeping environments healthy, observable, and reproducible is a QA superpower with a new job title. 5 to 7 months, working evenings, takes you from 0 cloud to 2 certifications. Portfolio project, build an automated test pipeline. Code build running your test suite on every commit. Results flowing to a dashboard. That single repo says Cloud QA Engineer louder than any resume line. Track 3, DevOps Engineer, the people who own the pipeline, the platform, and the 3 a.m. incident calmly. First, honest prerequisites. Before any exam here, get comfortable with Linux basics. Git, one scripting language, Python or Bash, and container fundamentals. 2 or 3 weekends of practice is enough to start. Then the path. CloudOps Engineer Associate certifies Day 2 operations, monitoring, deployment, automation. If you're coming from the developer side instead, route through Developer Associate first. Both roads meet at the same summit. DevOps Engineer Professional. And DOP is a serious exam. Multi-select scenarios where you choose combinations of steps across code pipeline, cloud formation, event bridge, incident response. 10 to 12 weeks of preparation, even with experience. But it's also one of the highest signal certifications AWS offers. Portfolio Project, the one-command environment, a CDK app that stands up a complete monitored, auto-scaling web stack from scratch. Demo that in an interview and watch the room change. Track 4, AI and Machine Learning, the Gold Rush track, and as of this year it finally has a clean official ladder. Step 1, AI Practitioner, 3 to 5 weeks. It makes you AI literate. Prompt engineering, when to use RAG versus fine-tuning, responsible AI. QA engineers and analysts. This exam was practically designed for you. Step 2, Machine Learning Engineer Associate, the SageMaker exam. Data preparation, training, deployment, monitoring, the full life cycle. Have Python basics and a little ML math before this one. 8 to 10 weeks of focused prep. Step 3 is new for 2026. Generative AI Developer Professional. Production LLM applications, Bedrock, agents, guardrails, vector databases. This is the certification for the jobs everyone's posting right now. Remember from part 1, machine learning specialty retired in March, so ignore any older roadmap that still routes you there. This 3-step ladder is the path. Portfolio Project, a RAG chatbot over your own documents with Bedrock knowledge bases, and, because you're smart, an evaluation harness. That last bit separates you from every other chatbot demo on LinkedIn. Track 5, MLOps. And here's the plot twist. There is no single MLOps certification. You assemble it, and that's exactly why it pays so well. The formula on screen. Machine Learning Engineer Associate gives you the ML half. SageMaker, Model Lifecycle, Drift Monitoring. DevOps Professional gives you the delivery half. SCI/CD, Infrastructure as Code, Incident Response. The overlap in the middle. Pipelines that train, test, deploy, and watch models. That's MLOps, and almost nobody can do both sides. Why it's hard. Models die in notebooks. Every company that hired data scientists in the last 5 years now needs the person who gets those models into production and keeps them healthy. Scarce profile, strong pay. Sequence, MLA first, then DOP. If your company has Skill Builder, the AWS MLOps micro-credential stacks nicely on top. Signature skills to practice. SageMaker pipelines feeding model monitor. Code pipeline treating models like code. Retraining triggered by drift and cost-aware inference. Build one pipeline like that end to end, and you're in the rarest hiring pool in tech. Track 6, Data Engineering, the quiet track with the steadiest demand curve in the industry, because every AI wave doubles the need for clean, governed, queryable data. One certification carries this track, Data Engineer Associate. It covers the modern stack end-to-end, streaming ingestion with Kinesis, batch with Glue, warehousing in Redshift, serverless queries in Athena, governance with Lake Formation. The biggest domain, at 34%, is ingestion and transformation, so that's where your practice hours go. Prerequisites are simple, SQL and basic Python. If you have those, 3 to 4 months of evening study gets you there. If you're brand new to AWS, take Cloud Practitioner first. If you're experienced, go straight in. Solutions Architect Associate is a strong optional add-on later. Data engineers who understand architecture get pulled into the best projects. Portfolio Project, one honest end-to-end pipeline. Clickstream events into Kinesis, landed in an S3 lake, transformed with Glue, queried in Athena, visualized on a dashboard. One repo, one diagram, one working demo. 2 certifications deliberately did not appear in any starter track because they're force multipliers for later. Security Specialty multiplies everything. The DevOps Engineer who can pass a security review, the ML Engineer who can secure a RAG pipeline, the developer who designs IAM properly the first time, that person gets promoted. Take it after any associate cert plus 2 to 3 years of experience. And since December 2025, it covers generative AI security, which makes it even more current. Solutions Architect Professional is the enterprise summit, multi-account organizations, hybrid networking, large migrations. It's the natural peak of the cloud developer and data tracks, and the certification consultancies value most. One warning while we're here: Advanced Networking Specialty retires August 25th, 2026. Unless you specifically need it within weeks, invest elsewhere. After that date, no new badges are issued. Let's kill the fantasy timelines with some honest numbers. These estimates assume you're studying 8 to 10 hours a week around a full-time job. Foundational certs, cloud practitioner, AI practitioner, 20 to 40 total hours, 2 to 5 weeks. Very achievable. Associates are the real commitment, 50 to 90 hours depending on the exam and your background. Developer associate lands faster for coders. Solutions architect needs more breadth. Data and ML engineer depend heavily on whether you've touched the domain before. Professionals and the specialty exams, 90 to 120 hours, 10 to 12 weeks of consistent, structured effort. 2 honest caveats. If a domain is completely new to you, double the low end. And consistency beats intensity. 6 focused hours a week for 10 weeks beats a heroic final weekend every single time. In Part 4, I'll turn these hours into an actual day-by-day 90-day calendar. For now, just budget realistically. Still torn between tracks? Ask yourself what you actually want to be doing on a random Tuesday afternoon. If the answer is building things users touch, features, APIs, apps, you're the cloud developer track. Developer associate first. If it's making systems run flawlessly, deployments, monitoring, reliability, you're DevOps. Start with Cloud Ops Associate. If it's data and models, you're either the data track with Data Engineer Associate or the AI track starting with AI Practitioner. Choose data if you love pipelines and SQL. Choose AI if models and Gen AI pull you harder. And if you're in QA wanting a cloud seat, your on-ramp is already paved. Cloud Practitioner, then Developer Associate. Here's the reassuring part. These tracks share DNA. Most start from the same foundational or associate exams, so choosing wrong costs you almost nothing. You can pivot after your first cert with everything still counting. The only wrong move is standing still. Before we close, 4 mistakes I see constantly. Each one costs people months. Mistake 1, cert collecting. 5 badges, 0 projects. Recruiters see through it instantly. The fix is the rule from the start of this video. 1 cert, 1 shipped project every time. Mistake 2, starting at professional level. I get it, DevOps Pro looks impressive, but without associate level fluency, it becomes months of frustration. The ladder is genuinely faster than the leap. Mistake 3, following outdated roadmaps. Any guide from before late 2025 will route you towards SysOps, renamed Machine Learning Specialty, retired, and won't even mention the Gen AI Professional. Check the dates on everything you follow, including videos like this one. That's why I stamp everything with July 2026. Mistake 4, all theory, no console. Video courses feel like progress, but the exam punishes pure theory. 30 to 40% of your study hours belong inside the AWS console, breaking and fixing things. Avoid these 4 and you're ahead of most candidates already. So here's your move this week. 3 steps, small on purpose. Step 1, pick your track. 1 of the 6. Write it in the comments. The act of committing publicly is weirdly powerful. Step 2, do not book an exam yet, and don't binge tutorials either. Instead, take 1 full-length practice test for your chosen certification from my practice courses, cold, before any studying. Your score does not matter. Nobody sees it. What matters is the domain-by-domain breakdown it gives you. That report is your personal gap map, and in Part 4, we'll turn it into a day-by-day plan. Step 3, watch Part 3 next, because it takes you inside each exam. Every domain, every weighting, and real scenario questions in the exact style the test uses. Studying before seeing the exam shape is like packing before you know the destination. Links for the practice courses are in the description. And that's Part 2. Your path is picked, your timeline is honest, and your first move is a baseline practice test, not a video binge. Drop your track and your current role in the comments. I read them all, and it helps me tailor the rest of this series to where you're starting from. If this video saved you from a wrong turn, the like button is right there. Subscribe with notifications on, because Part 3 is the deep dive this whole series builds toward. Inside every exam, blueprint by blueprint, with real scenario questions. My practice courses are linked below. Start with that baseline test this week. I'm Rohan Singh, and this is CloudNimbus, clearing the path to the cloud. See you inside the exams.